Hello, hi, hello everyone. Wasim, hey, what are we learning today? Hi Wasim, we won't be painting today, but I have something more interesting for you guys. So we'll start off in some time. I'm just waiting for others to join in, and once people join in, then I'm gonna reveal what I'm gonna do today. So it's actually, I was not very prepared to do a live session today, especially because I was very tired and it's also very late in India right now. So I thought maybe I'll skip the live session, but then I skipped it yesterday as well, thinking that I'll sleep early, which I clearly did not. So I thought maybe I'll just show up, and instead of painting today, I have got a sketchbook. So I am gonna show you my artworks. Like, you guys are from Instagram because I've shared my link over there, and I assume most of you are from Instagram and you've been seeing me recently, and you are seeing my recent artworks. But this sketchbook here, I'm gonna reveal what it's inside. This sketchbook is I started on 8th March 21. So that's how old this is. And I'm gonna do a quick flip through of this sketchbook and probably tell you stories, or not exactly stories, but what all I painted back then and what was the quality of my artwork. And then I have another sketchbook which I think I finished in 2022. So, and then maybe I can show you a recent artwork. So, I mean, of course, you've anyway seen the recent ones, but I want to show you the ones that I did a long time ago, just to show you that the most important thing is growing. And when it comes to growing, it's not just about growing in comparison to other people, but it's just you getting better than your older self. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you guys. And I have taken out this sketchbook a lot of times, and every time I come across, like, if my friends come over or somebody comes over and I want to relate with someone, I usually show them this sketchbook because it's the first sketchbook and it's also the first sketchbook that I have completed. And I've realized recently that I do not complete my sketchbook these days. So it would also, like, opening this would also make me, would kind of compel me to finish the other sketchbooks and not start another one before finishing this one. So yeah, that's pretty much what this live stream today would be all about. We'll not keep it long. I say that at the beginning of every live stream, but today we'll definitely not keep it very long. We'll keep it short, crisp, and we'll share a lot of things that I have. Oh, that's great, Wasim. I mean, uh, I think your name is Shaina. Like, correct me if I'm not wrong, but yeah, that's actually, I also like that. So once in a while, what happens is when you keep looking at your artworks, you eventually end up not liking it. So once in a while, I just open my old sketchbooks and flip through, and I have the time of my life because I really think that when I made those paintings, I did not like it as much. But then when I go back and I look at those sketchbooks, I feel that, oh, it was not bad. So that's the feeling that I get. I can probably do another sketchbook tour, right? Maybe tomorrow or even today if time permits. But I think there are enough viewers and we can quickly start off with this one. So, like I mentioned, I started this sketchbook back on 8th March 2021. Let it load. Okay. Wasim is the title, China. Yeah, get it. Is the screen stuck? No. Okay. I should move it here. So, yeah. So, in the beginning, when I used to start my sketchbooks, I had this habit of writing down the date. And I don't like the fact that I don't mention the date these days because it helps you understand what was your level, or maybe how good or how bad or how you were at that point of time. So yeah, this was from the beginning of 2021. So this was the first painting that I did. I have used gouache on this, and it is not a very good quality sketchbook. I got it from Factor Notes, but good quality as in the sheets are, I think, under 100, under 200 GSM, I think 150 or something GSM. So it was not the best quality sheets. And also, when the sheets are like this, you cannot use masking tape on it as well, because it will just tear off the entire sketchbook. So I have drawn lines and I have tried to be within the lines, and that's how I have painted this one. I might have used a reference picture, but I don't quite remember whether I did or not. Yeah, and I have again done something similar. So at that point of time, I think I did not have a lot of followers on Instagram. I had, I guess, 3,000 or something followers. That's when I started the sketchbook, and every day I would paint on it, and I would share it on my stories, because I thought that these paintings were not as good, like to make it on my posts, but they were pretty decent, and they gave me, so basically having sketchbooks gave me the freedom to experiment, to try different things, and I would not spend a lot of time on these paintings. You can also see this one. For this one, I've used acrylics. So you see this, the two pages got stuck to each other, and that's why um, this paper has come from this side to this side. But yeah, I've used acrylics for this one, and sketchbooks, like I was saying, sketchbooks gives you that kind of freedom to experiment. I would not spend a lot of time on these paintings, but I would uh, like pretty much practice things, practice drawing thin lines, practice how white on green would work and all of that. So not a very conscious practice, but yeah, I would just pick up something very easy and paint on it. Here again, very easy acrylics. I'm bending over and seeing so that the shine tells me whether it's acrylics or gouache, because on paper it's very difficult to tell what medium you've used until and unless you hold it at an angle and see the shine or the matte finish of it. So yeah, this is also acrylics, and I've used these pens to draw some leaves. I don't know, random things that I would do. And I would also write something under it. I don't know what was in my mind, but I would do that. I would like that. Yeah. Then at this point of time, I was doing the 100 days challenge. So I was painting a lot of things, food illustrations, I was doing landscapes, I was painting all sorts of things, all using acrylics. And that's when I realized that maybe I have made good progress. Like I have sort of mastered a lot of things, and it's time that I upgrade to painting humans, or painting human features or stuff like that. So that's when I started this. I thought that maybe I'll tackle one element at a time. So probably start with the nose and then the lips and eyes, and I would master these things and then move towards mastering the complete human face. So I started slow, I took reference pictures, and I started painting, I started practicing it. So yeah, that's what I said. At that point of time, I had a very open mind, and I wanted to experiment, wanted to learn, wanted to try different things, and that's why you would see that the first one is just some leaves, then some patterns, and then we've come to directly human features. So that's how random it would go. And then yeah, when we talk about human features, I would also practice hands and hand gestures. These are not as good. I think the ones that I did later on were much better, but yeah, I would practice these things. Then I found this picture in someone's story. I also tagged them in the story when I made this. So I just saw this story that they had posted, and I really liked the architecture and the shadow play in this. So I decided painting it. Just put it, can I? Yeah. Yeah, the shadows and everything. So I painted this one, and I really liked it. But yeah, at that point of time, I really liked it, and I shared it on my stories. I did not make a post, so you might not have seen these because these were mostly posted on my stories. Yeah. Again, here I have used acrylics. Maybe if I also do this, you might be able to see the shine. that it has, and also the textures. You see, acrylics will give these textures. So yeah. Okay. Then I found this picture maybe on Pinterest or something, and I did a pen sketch. I did a quick pen sketch, and then I thought that maybe the pen sketch looks sort of incomplete, so I painted it using watercolors. I think, yeah, it was watercolors only. And now these are not watercolor sheets, so it is not as smooth. And I think I was using very old watercolors, so the color is so faded. So what I did, yeah, next I did another little landscape. So this is the sort of landscapes that I started off with. A very basic sky, very basic ground and trees. These are one of the first landscapes that I started doing with acrylics first. Like before gouache, I used to work mostly with acrylics. I found it as uh, acrylics were also very accessible and cheap. Like you would get one bottle of acrylic paints in 20, and I would just get the basic colors, the five basic colors, and I would mix colors and experiment. So that's why I started off with those first. Like started off as in when I restarted in back in 2020 2021. So I would experiment more with acrylics, and gouache I was still figuring it out. So you I have seen just one work with gouache, and after that I started doing everything with acrylics. And then there's this one for which again I have used acrylics. So it is the same sketch as this one. So I used watercolor in this one, and I felt that maybe if I use an opaque medium it would look better. So I went with acrylics, and I found the result to be so appealing and so vibrant that I think these were one of the first paintings that made me realize that maybe I should switch to landscapes. Like I mentioned before, I would not paint a lot of landscapes before. So this was kind of one of those paintings that made me feel that maybe I should try more landscape paintings. But yeah. Okay, then coming back to the facial features. For this, I have used gouache. I took a reference picture, like one of the paintings by some artist. It is not my original work, none of these are. So, some artist had painted. So, like, I feel that the best way to learn at first is to learn from other people. Like, it's good to experiment, and it's good to figure things out on your own. That's also a way of learning. But one I think one easy way of learning is watching others do it, or simply studying their artworks in good terms. So I saw this artist paint this lady, and I thought it's a half face, and I've already practiced eyes, nose, lips. Probably I can try it. Now that I look back at this painting, I don't think it's bad, but that at that point of time when I looked at the reference picture in this, I did not like it at all. So you won't see any other portrait in this sketchbook. But yeah, I used gouache, and I have used this rough paint technique. I've not blended the colors, but yeah, I think it turned out pretty decent. And I've also written something or the other at each sheet. So here I've written that 100 times before you get that one perfect piece. So that's how many practices that you need to do. That's how many times you have to do something to get it right. So I felt that maybe next time. Okay. So another day, another attempt at painting a skyscape. Now, here there are a few problems with the skyscape painting. First of all, I did not realize that the sketchbook that I was using was not as good quality. Okay, so the result would be that the colors would not blend as good. Okay, and it would be difficult to layer things. And also with acrylics, when you paint clouds, you have to take more paint, like it has to be thick. So there was a lot of things, lot of learnings. that I did not know of, and that's why this is what I painted. I won't say I was pretty okay. I mean, I did not have any emotions related to this. I felt that it was fine. I felt that maybe next time. Yeah, that's what I felt. Maybe next time I'll get it right. So, yeah. And then I did this. I am not sure, but I think I did it in the live painting session on Instagram. I am not very sure, but I might have done it in the live session. Yeah. Yeah, again, acrylics only. Here also, I have used acrylics. I don't know. I thought this one turned out quite well, like quite fine. So I made something similar, but then I don't know, I was maybe irritated or something. That's why I've done it in watercolor style, and I was completely disappointed with this one. And next, again, another acrylic. It is also acrylics, but you can see I've done it in a watercolor style. So I have used a lot of water with acrylics, which is not how you work with acrylics. So this is what I painted, and I again did not quite like it. So I thought, let me go back to painting landscapes. Here again, I've painted a very simple sky, clouds, field, and a tree. I used to keep it very simple and would use acrylics and would try to get the best shot at it. Just a sky that I wanted to paint, but I did not know how to do a circular this thing. Um, Blending. So a very rough circular blending I've done, and here I have used masking tape, so I have gotten clear boundaries. This was when I again made an attempt at the sky cloud field thing, and I think that this was pretty better than the others that I painted. And yeah, again, I was practicing something with the human face. I thought that maybe I can um, try that. And again, another one. This is like a rough sketch, and I tried making it on a bigger canvas, and then I did not like it, so I covered it with some other painting. I think I covered it with a seascape. And then yeah, again another one. I think by this time I realized that these are turning out pretty decent. I can paint like a sky and silhouette. So if you're starting off, I suggest this is one of the easiest things that you should do. Paint a vibrant sky, maybe paint it blue and add clouds, maybe paint it with all the colors, practice blending, practice what is the consistency of the paint that you need, practice the brush work, and then practice silhouettes. So this is these are one of the easiest paintings that a beginner should try. I don't think as a beginner you should go ahead and paint something very complicated. It would just ruin your confidence, and then you would be afraid of taking up the brush. So at first you build confidence, you go at a slower pace, and as you get better you start increasing the level of the paintings that you're doing. So I was also doing it, and every time you see I would take up something complicated. Of course, I'm human, and I would become very ambitious on certain days, and I would get utterly disappointed, and then I would not touch the sketchbook for a few days. I would be so disappointed, but then I would gather courage and then pick up something like this, and then I would paint it and I would like it. So I would get back to it another day as well, because I have put the date. Let me see. No, I was doing it very often. This is 27th March. Okay. Okay. So like I said, if the previous one when the previous one turned out well, I thought I'll paint another one like that. So So yeah, so this one came up. I think I filmed a video also for this one. And yeah, simple use of colors, simple techniques, simple silhouette. So that's what I would keep it very simple. And yeah, two simple paintings. I thought I've gotten it. So I went very ambitious. I was like, yeah, now I am good at landscape. So I decided to paint a path and trees sort of thing. And I just did it in the live session 2 days ago. And I am surprised at how effortlessly I am able to do it now that I've figured out things. But back then, it would be a task for me, and I would get so disappointed that I would leave it. So I would not understand that I have to go slow and I have to have patience. But also, I did not have that sort of guidance. Nobody was telling me what to do, and I was figuring it out all by myself. So that also sort of set that also gave me a setback. So I think I hope these live sessions help you to not get disappointed. Have faith in yourself. It will all turn out good. Shaina, I was also very afraid of painting clouds, but trust me, it gets better. Just try to have the right techniques, probably follow some artist or um, know the right technique so that you don't have to figure it out all by yourself and then try painting. And I swear you might get it right the first time, and that would be amazing. But even if you don't get it right the first time, the second time, the third time, maybe at the 10th attempt, you'll definitely get it right and it will all be worth it. So, here again, now I had figured out by this point of time that I am getting the blending correct. Like, if I have to paint a vibrant sky, pink, purple, or any other colored sky, I would get it right. So, I used that and I added some clouds. Here again, the clouds are not good, but it is still better than what I had done before. So, yeah, I gave it to myself that, yeah, chalo, I am able to do one thing right. So, I'll probably add something that I'm not good at over here and try. Okay, so I would keep trying. And again, keeping other elements simple, a silhouette. And you can also see my brushwork was not that fine. The wires that I've painted are too thick, but you learn, you grow. And then the facial features that I was painting, I made another attempt at that. So I think this turned out pretty, like, surprisingly good. And I was also shocked, but I realized that to paint eyes, like just one eye, it is not that difficult. Now, if you look at the reference picture that I had used for these three eye paintings, they look they look very good. Okay, so if you're not looking at the reference picture and you're just looking at this, you would feel that I've done a very good job. Okay, but if you see the reference picture, you'll feel that the eye that I've painted does not look like that one. So that's my major problem with painting portraits. If I paint a portrait, I'm afraid that the person that I'm going to paint and what I have painted will look completely different. So I think, yeah, that's I think my problem. I give it my touch, and which you cannot do when you're painting portraits. So this was okay. This was a capsicum. Like I mentioned before, I was pretty decent at still life painting at that point of time. So I did not face a lot of difficulties doing this. I would get the shadow, highlights, all of that correct. But here again, since the quality of the sketchbook was not as good, and I was also not able to figure out how to do the blending or how to work perfectly with acrylics on this sketchbook, so the blending is not as proper, but it's a pretty decent work and I did not want to add more layers and try to fix it. I thought that this looks pretty decent and I left it there. Now comes the days when I thought of looking at things and painting them. So this was my mask back in 14th April 2021. So COVID was still there. I had this very beautiful mask, so I thought I'd paint it. I did not honestly directly paint looking at the mask. I took a picture, I looked at the picture, and then I painted it. So, yeah, initially you are not as good. I mean, it becomes difficult for you to just look at things and paint it directly. You have to have that sort of mindset, or you have to understand framing, which becomes very difficult in the beginning. So I'd suggest take a picture of it and then paint. So yeah, that's what I did, and that's what I was able to get the composition correct. Again, I painted a Vaseline, similar technique that I followed. I would put a light source on top, like I would use my family's someone's phone, and I would put the flashlight on one side of Vaseline, and then I would take a picture, and then I would paint that. Same with this Hershey's syrup that I painted. I posted this, and I would get like 1,000 views on my reels at that point of time, and this one got 3,000, 4,000 views. That made me very happy. Okay, you, I mean, I would celebrate my small wins. I was very happy, like, wow, like people like my work and I'm doing good. So this got good reach also. It got not good reach, but it had pretty decent amount of views. Then I thought maybe I should do this more often because the mask turned out well, the Vaseline painting turned out well, Hershey's syrup decently well. So now I was running out of things, and it was the lockdown, so you couldn't even go out and buy more things. So I had this oregano seasoning packet. I thought maybe chalo, I'll paint this only. So this is what I painted. Okay. And then coming to this. Like I said, the silhouette part I had figured out, the sky part I had figured out. So I thought I would take it one notch up, and I did these highlights and a tent and all of that. This also got a very good response on Instagram. So I was also pretty happy, but you can see how I've painted the stars. These are too thick. I did not have that sort of brushwork. Um, had the knowledge of that sort of brushwork back then. So I think I did a pretty decent job. So here again, I thought I'll paint another food or fruit or something. So for this, I took a reference. I took a reference from some artist's painting, and that's how I painted it. So I basically looked at their painting and made this. Okay, this is one of the paintings. I found this reference picture on a photography page and I made this painting. I also made a colored version of this, and I think I made that first, and then I made this sketch version of it. So I like doing sketches once in a while. It takes a lot of time, that's why I refrain from doing it all the time. But I like doing it because I like the whole feel of sketch. So I do it. And here I have just randomly picked up pictures from Pinterest or somewhere, and I have done these sketches. Like I said, I enjoyed sketching back then also. And this, I don't know what I was thinking. I think the sky looks pretty decent, but after that, what I did, even I am not sure. I also took this picture from some photography page, but I think I wasn't able to figure out how to paint it. So I just randomly, there was a branch, the moon, and all of that. The picture actually looked very good, so I was quite tempted at trying it, but clearly I did not. I could not justify that painting, justify that photograph. Then I made this. I think I did a pretty decent job at painting clouds by this point. So you can see how many failure attempts, and these are the failed attempts on this sketchbook. There are failed attempts at on other sketchbooks and other sheets also. So this is not just the first. Like these are not just the only failed attempts. After that, when I made this, I thought that I did a pretty decent job. But you can also see that the grass here looks very weird. It's like straight lines that I've painted, and We all do that mistake in the beginning. We paint straight grass. Even if you're painting straight grass, you have to make sure that the ones below are tall, the ones that are far from the point of view are small. Like a lot of tips that goes into this, and I was completely unaware of it. And I would not look at any YouTube videos or any thing to learn from. Also because I do not have that much time or access also to courses or something from where I could learn. So I would keep figuring out things by myself, and that's why it took me so long to do it. Again, I tried clouds. I was very ambitious somehow. I wanted to figure out the clouds part because I would see artists paint cloud and they looked so good. I really wanted to do it. But so I would keep trying and I would keep failing and I would keep getting disappointed. But then I would again pick up courage and I would be like, let's do it one more time. So yeah, that would keep going on and on and on. And then on days when I would not want to put in a lot of efforts, I would come up with something like that. I mean, it's just so random. Like, I think I would have referred to some picture for this, but it's just so incomplete. It's another one, I tried painting roses. These do not look like roses, but yeah, I tried painting roses and door, because also this was also one of the subjects that I really liked. I really wanted to paint something like this. So yeah, I did. Now this was a coffee and a spoon. I think some artist had done it, and I had took that as reference and tried painting it. I've used acrylics. You can see all the texture of the paint. Yeah, I really liked it, but I don't know. Nobody else liked it, so I thought maybe it's not a good painting. But I would enjoy rough brushwork, wherein you're not blending the colors. I would really enjoy it. That's why I really enjoyed painting this one. And actually, on the screen, it looks quite good. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this also looks good. But nobody else liked it. So I was like, okay, let's give it up. This is another one similar to the previous tent painting. After this, like around this time, I did a few more of these sort of tent night camping paintings. I did a few of those. And another coffee. This is so, um, what do you call it? So lazy. I have not put in any efforts. I have not put in any efforts in painting this one, but okay, it is as it is. Another landscape, very simple. You have seen the pattern, right? My landscape paintings are very simple, like sky, clouds, grass. I do not add more elements because I wanted to figure out these elements first and then I would go towards something more complicated. And if I would go towards something more complicated, I was actually doing it on sheets. But on the sketchbook, I really wanted to master simple things. Another very simple painting with some bushes, flowers, and a random sky and lampposts. And yeah, this was my balcony. So I had kept some um, pots over there and I looked at it and I tried to sketch it out. Okay. This also I had referred some artist's picture and I thought I would just paint it. It did not turn out as good. The clouds look haphazard, but that I think it looks decent. I think it looks finish. Yeah, this was one of the landscapes that I quite liked. It was I took a reference from a friend's photograph. Like she had taken this photograph from in Andamans, and I thought it was a pretty decent picture. So I thought of painting it, and I think that this looks sort of nice at that point of time. I was still figuring out the how to paint trees and bushes and all of that. So it was sort of easy also, and I thought that it's time that I look at reference pictures and start painting. Then here again, I have attempted another landscape painting. Now, what my problem would be is that when I would paint landscapes, I would not sketch anything. I would directly start painting. So the composition is very off in my, in my paintings. But yeah, when you're just starting off, I think you should sketch first and then start painting. This was from a live session that I did. I did it on Instagram Live, and this live is also saved on Instagram, but you have to scroll till the end to find it. But yeah, I did it on a live session on Instagram, and I would also explain that you have to draw these kind of shapes and then do it. So I would do full explanation, 1 hour long session. I would do and explain these things. Here, I think I was doing these. Oh, this is July now. So I was doing this 100-day challenge and I was not able to make an elaborate painting. So I just took out my paints and brushes and made this very simple, normal, casual paintings. And yeah, last one is a pose deck painting. I think I make much better pose deck paintings now, but I think I did a pretty decent job here. Like I said, I was finish at that point of time at food illustration. So, and considering the quality of these sheets, I think it's a decent work. If I would do the same thing on a 300 GSM sheet or something, it would turn out pretty well. Here the blending and everything would become very difficult for me. So I feel it's a pretty good job for this kind of sheet. So yeah, that's the last painting, and I think that uh, even when I flip through this sketchbook, it makes me realize how far I've come. Like, compared to the first painting, the last painting has so much element, so much character, and I mean, it's a post deck painting, but I'm not talking about the post deck, but the details, the line work, the all of that. It would have, it would have some element, some details, and some realistic elements to it. So I think that I love doing this flip through by myself. Like every now and then, I would flip through my finished sketchbook just to see how far I've come, or just to, I don't know, just to remember the good old days. And I really cherish these sketchbooks. I keep it somewhere which is where it is accessible, and then I would pull it out and look, and then just feel happy. So I never got a chance to share this online, so I thought maybe I would do it today. Most of the paintings were just posted on stories, not even posts or something. So I think this poor sketchbook, which was my first sketchbook, did not get enough credit for being there with me. And I'm quite satisfied today because this sketchbook has gotten the credit that it deserves, because it was there with me when I was experimenting and doing random things on it. So yeah, I I think we have done justice to the sketchbook. And yeah, that's about it. I also had another sketchbook, but probably we'll do this sketchbook tour some other time, because we have again been live for 40 minutes. I thought that I would wrap it up very soon today, but I could not. Just keep talking. But yeah, um, it was great having you guys over here, the ones who stayed, the ones, Shaina, who has been here for the 40 minutes. Shaina, I'm so sorry if I bored you or something, but I am very happy and very thankful that you stayed here throughout and was very interested in interacting as well. And you should definitely get back to painting. And if you feel that you're not having that courage or motivation to do it, probably join one of my live sessions and we'll paint something together. So yeah, thank you so much for joining in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Bye bye. Good night.